Hi, and welcome to the Mike and Travis Sports Podcast. I'm Travis Hall.
And I'm Mike Masala, and we are back, baby. It's playoff football. Nothing more exciting than this, except for maybe college basketball. But playoff football, way better. Way better. Not even close. I don't even know why I said
And
that.
you
Not
know
even
what?
close.
The best kind of playoff football? Patriots playoff football.
Patriots playoff football. You can't beat Pats playoff football. It's like a whole nother animal around New England. It's weird. It's almost hard to explain. So we've been off for a few weeks, finishing up with school, and now we're back and we're ready. We're ready to get it going. Need to start doing the video blogs more often, just because, in my opinion, they're more fun, and I can speak a lot better than I can write, which is why we're doing this.
Also,
So we're gonna
to explain
go
yourself
ahead.
when it isn't paper, I think.
Yeah, I can definitely explain myself better in words than I can on paper. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk some Pats today. Right now, Carolina's playing at Arizona. Carolina is up, I believe, 20-14, as I have it in the background. Um, but we have a week off, so we're going to talk up some Pats regular season, some Pats postseason, and basically wrap up what is the Patriots 2014 regular season. The first thing we want to talk about would be offensive MVP. Travis, I'll let you have the floor first. Who do you think it should be?
Well, at the beginning of the year, it didn't look so hot for anybody on offense, really. The first four games, we all know the Trent Dilfer thing. We're saying the Patriots are not a good team anymore. Tom Brady's not a elite quarterback. I mean, out of default, I have to say it'd be Tom Brady. I feel like everybody this year was really good on offense. Um, Besides the running back position, I mean, it was very, very well done all year by any receiver. You know, Julian Edelman had a good year, not as good as the last year season he had. LaFell stepped in, played very well. Gronkowski, after those first four games, you know, he's back to Gronk, and it looks like he's back into good shape. That would be the only player I'd say would argue against Brady, but Brady does have to throw him the ball. But Gronkowski and Brady are definitely the top two, I would say. Gronkowski had an unbelievable year, an unanimous AP All-Pro. Him and Revis both made that list. So I would have to say Brady, only because he has to throw the ball to Gronkowski, and I don't think Gronkowski would put up the numbers without Brady or like at least another elite quarterback. So that kind of goes by default. I don't know about you, but you can have the floor.
And riding a little bit off of what you said, I do think Brady had a great season. I think the major contributor to that would be the man I picked for my offensive MVP and the man you just talked about, Mr. Rob Gronkowski. Arguably the most dominant player in football, and I don't even think it's really close. I love Calvin Johnson, don't get me wrong. Gronkowski is so dominant when it comes to his position. There's almost nobody that can cover him. He's too fast for a linebacker to cover him, too physical for a safety or a cornerback to cover him. He has to get double teamed. He has to get triple teamed. A lot of the times the double team doesn't even work. I mean, you saw really only one example of somebody holding him down, and that was randomly the Jets in one of the last weeks of the season. Um, he is ridiculous, unreal. He finished 82 receptions, 1,124 yards, 12 touchdowns. Just another great season. He stayed healthy for the year, which was great to see. Going into the playoffs with a healthy Gronk is a big change, and it's something that we definitely haven't really seen here in New England because he's been injured pretty much every year. We've made a deep playoff run, and him coming in to this playoff run that we're about to go in healthy is a huge thing for us.
Yep, absolutely, and that was one of the reasons why I believe in the 2011 Super Bowl. Why we didn't win that Super Bowl? We didn't have a healthy Gronk. He was out there to play, but he was not definitely 100% Gronk, and that's what we need to see out of him. And I definitely believe that he's going to be the key factor in the playoffs, no doubt. I just think that Brady, you know, he turned it up those last couple games. I just feel like he's the reason why Gronk does put up these numbers, and I feel like without Tom Brady or an elite quarterback, Rob Gronkowski would just be kind of set in the stone, but we don't know. Like I said, maybe he could be a tight end that's unbelievable on any team. Maybe he can make, I don't know, Geno Smith look good. We don't know that.
I don't know if anybody can really make Geno Smith look good, but I guess we'll just have to see with Jimmy G coming up. I don't know. After that last game, a little shaky, bad, not too great that there was no really starters playing with him, so we don't get to see everything from him, but it wasn't that great. Moving on to defensive MVP.
Just want to go one quick point. You know how much we win in New England. We're judging off who's going to be the backup for Tom Brady, and how we're actually being critical of what he was doing last
Yeah,
week.
what he was doing in those 2 quarters. Moving on to the defensive MVP, I'm going to start on this one. My boy, Jamie Collins, after all the hype he had in the offseason, I don't know if he lived up to quite the hype he was having, because the hype that they gave him was ridiculous, saying he was going to be like the next Lawrence Taylor, the next prototypical player at linebacker. It's ridiculous. You can't live up to Lawrence Taylor type numbers. For a guy who's coming into, well, this is his second season, 115 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, losing your number one linebacker, having to not play a completely different position, but basically having to change the way you do that position. The way he played was unreal, and with the combination of speed, size, and strength that this guy has, I could see him being here for ridiculous amount of years and putting up crazy numbers every year.
I think Jamie Collins was unbelievable this year. I actually thought he exceeded my expectations, but he didn't. I think he did have a lot of hype. That playoff game against the Colts where he was just dominant, and even against Denver, he did a pretty good job containing Julius Thomas, in my opinion. But I think it's Donta Hightower. It's 100% Donta Hightower. I'll tell you one reason, because like you said, with the Gerard Mayo injury going down, Hightower, he stepped in there and literally, I didn't even notice half that time that Mayo was not even playing. Besides the fact I didn't see number 51. He did an unbelievable job this year. I don't have his stats on my hand. I don't know if you have them and if you could read them to people, but I just think that he was just unbelievable. He was everywhere. He made great run stopping plays. He wasn't that bad back in the spy area. I think you could just give our linebacker core the entire defensive MVP, and they played very well for the fact that we didn't have our number one linebacker playing at all. Second, my list would be Jamie Collins, and then third, I would say Devin McCourty, just because that guy just covers the entire field, no problem. And you never see a big play really get by Devin McCourty. I think we gave up one play that was more than 40 yards this year or something like that, and it was against I don't even know. I think it was that Sanders play that they had. It was like a deep ball randomly. But other than that, it was a great season defensively, and Revis, did his job, and that's why you can't really give him defensive MVP, because that's what we expect out of him. He really didn't exceed expectations of what we saw. We just knew that we could go out there and he would do it well enough to be great, and maybe have a decent pass rush. But once again, Chandler Jones went down. We don't really have a dominant pass rusher other than him, or any pass rusher. So I feel like Donta Hightower just kind of exceeded Jamie Collins just by the fact he took that leadership role and really stepped up after last year's kind of season with him.
Yeah, it's really strange to see Hightower take over for Mayo, and they don't really seem like the same type of linebacker, but they are, because Hightower's done a terrific job filling in for Mayo, not only this year, but his job was a little bit more difficult last year because he wasn't as used to it, but he did a serviceable job last year. I can't doubt him on that one. This year he finished with, I do actually have the stats in front of me, 89 total tackles, or 89 combined tackles, 6 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 pass deflections. So Hightower had an outstanding year. I had actually written down Hightower before we started this, and then right before we started it, I was like, I liked Collins a lot this year. I really did.
Collins had 115 tackles. That's
yeah, you can't
surprised me.
can't
I didn't know
doubt
that
it.
off the top. Crazy. You think that he's there in a lot of places, but I didn't think 115.
Yeah, exactly. He is there all the time, and to think that our linebacking core is so young and so athletic, this team can do what they've been doing this year for numbers of years to come. It's ridiculous.
And I think what made me mad over the hype was people were outside of New England really saying the linebackers of the Patriots, they're really not that good, And then they go out there and, we arguably have the best. We had Mayo healthy the entire year. Who knows? We might have had, the greatest linebacking core in, the history of, the NFL. As a production-wise, and just how much they dominate the run game. It's crazy. I don't understand. We just always are there. There's only a couple running backs in the NFL that really give us a hard time. Chris Ivory randomly, no Sean Moreno, unless you're just a running back that just is even when we face good running back, Forte didn't have a really big game against us. Well, AP didn't play that game against us. I don't know. Is there any other? If the Colts didn't really run the ball against us, we ran the ball against them. I feel like most of the games that the Patriots ran the ball and made a focus of it, we beat any team against running the ball.
The good thing with this linebacking core is that they are so versatile, in which any single one of them, whether it be Mayo, Hightower, or Collins, or even you throw in Ayers, which was a great pickup midseason, by the way, any of them can cover and then rush the quarterback. It's unreal. The stunt that they used to stunt at the quarterback and then come around again, they had some great plays on the defense, and great job to Matt Patricia this year.
Yeah.
He's so underrated in my eyes that it's not even funny.
We're seeing all like these interview offers for Josh McDaniels, and we're like, hello, like Matt Patricia just like probably had the best defensive season.
The thing with Patricia is he's not going to get the credit because of the players, and then first of all, let me explain that a little more. He's performing well with good players, which is what you're supposed to do, and then he's under Belichick, so you're not going to get all that credit when you're under possibly the best defensive coordinator coach in the entire league.
But I think
history of the league.
He had a better season because he had nobody last year. We had no Mayo for almost the entire year. He had McCoy. We had the number one corner on our team was Talib, but I mean Talib was hurt with a hip half the time. I thought he did a better job last year, like what he had. But this year he just pitched. All he had to do was just make sure that everybody was healthy and just whatever defense he had out there and just he took care of it. We mostly played cover one. We mostly just had McCourty back deep. Had Chung say it somewhere in the linebacking core if it was a run play, he'd go up the middle, and then have Revis on an island, have Browner on his own island beside a little bit of help from McCourty, and then have the slot corners, which are Arrington when he's healthy, and Dennard and Ryan.
Yeah, it was a great year for the Pats defense, no doubt. The next question, Rookie of the Year. Not many players to talk about here. I think there's only one on my mind. I'll let you go with who you think it is.
Brian Stork. I mean,
That's it.
Yeah, he was the only one that ended up starting. Easily, he was hurt for most of the year, or if he was playing, he was still playing hurt. He did an alright job. I feel like if he can stay healthy, he can definitely. If we ever wanted to play 4-3, he could be a starter, or if we need Vince to sit down, he could be okay. I don't know. I feel like Saliga and Jones do a good enough job where we don't really need easily out there. Other than that, even I forgot Alan Branch, we signed him too. Other than that, I would say Brian Stork. He's done. The first couple of games that he started, he had a little chemistry problems with Brady. But he ended up fine, and it's hard for a rookie center to go in there and really make an impact. But he's great on the run. He's a great pass blocker. He had to be. I feel like last year when he won the national championship with Jameis Winston, he had to do a good enough job to make sure Jameis had enough time to pass. Jameis had a great season. I feel like he really excelled his game into the pros.
Definitely, Brian Stork was really the only guy I could really even think of. You look at Easley. And you really picture him more as a future type prospect. Everybody knew he wasn't gonna perform extremely well this year. He's coming off the 2 knee injuries. During the season, he re-injures his knee. Maybe not re-injures is the right word, but bothers his knee a little bit. And you don't even know if that really kept him out of games or if they just put him on the IR more to A, gain a roster spot, and B, get them a little bit healthier for next year when they know that they have players like Branch, Saliga, and Jones. You don't really need Easley that much this year, which is sad because I really like him. I really think he has a good amount of potential. Yeah. But moving on, Brian Stork, on the other hand, terrific season by the rookie center. He's the only one out of the whole draft class, and I did a player profile on him earlier in the year before the season started. He was the only one I could see starting, and he did a great job doing it. Don't get me wrong. He had great blocking up the middle and terrific pass protection. Yep. It's hard when you see at the beginning of the season when the offensive line got jumbled around so much, but when there was finally consistency and a little bit of protection from Connolly and Wendell on both sides, which gave Stork a little bit more time and a little bit more aggressiveness that he could use. Having those 2 veteran players next to him, it definitely worked out well for Stork. And like I said with many of the other players before, I really could see Stork being around here for a long time too.
Yeah, I just feel like Brian Stork definitely was the only player that really made an impact as a rookie, and I feel like moving Wendell back to guard and having Conley on his side, I feel like Wendell was just not really cut out for this position. I mean,
They didn't really like him there either, which is the thing.
yeah, and I feel like the Patriots, as a Patriots offensive lineman, you have to be versatile. There's no question in my mind that's the reason why Belichick likes these guys. But I feel like Wendell as a guard is just a lot better than he is at a center. I feel like he's just just gets off the block a lot better. He's great in the run, definitely worthy enough in the pass. The only offensive line issues that they really have sometimes is Solder, and I mean when they have to substitute out and have Klein or Cannon or any of the other backups in there, they kind of struggle. But that's just because it's the chemistry, you know. They really struggle. Some of them do really well against the run, some of them do really well in the pass, and then we have ours that do both, like Vollmer and Conley and even Wendell at times, you know. But other than that, Ryan Stork was probably the best rookie on our team right now. And, you know, and it sounds weird that a center, because not many teams think that their center is a rookie MVP for their team. But Stork was the only one that really made an impact. You know, Zach Moore didn't really play. Jeremy Gowan got cut. Who else do we even draft?
Halapio is playing for that Boston team.
Yeah.
We don't even know. It's on the next year's draft if we're looking at rookies.
We're on 2015 draft.
Biggest surprise this year. I'll let you go ahead.
Patrick Chung.
Really?
Guy got thrown out of New England to Philadelphia because we couldn't stand him. But I feel like he came back, and me and you both saw him like, this guy's back. Are you serious? Like, because me and Mike are really big fans of like Harmon and all them. We want them to play. We want let's get the rookies going. We need rookies. And then Chung comes in and is apparently the best run-stopping safety in the NFL. Literally in the PER, he is the number one run-stopping safety. And he's everywhere. He's everywhere on the run. He is there. And that just surprises me to see that he's not only even in the pass game. That game out, I forget what game he was, the one that he made like 2 stops in a row on the tight end to win the game, and it was unbelievable. And I feel like he's just really shown up this year. And I would say the only other player that really got a surprise out of me was Brandon LaFell. I honestly didn't think Brandon LaFell was. You saw him in training camp, you were like, oh great, this guy's got brick hands. And then what do we see him drop? Maybe 2 total passes, like actual drop 2 total passes the entire year. And he surprisingly was almost came up close to 1,000. He had like 906 or something like that. He showed up, and I was really happy about that. And then at one point, we were going to think Jonas Gray was going to be the biggest surprise of the year. Yeah, that one game, he just sat down. But Jonas Gray, me and Mike wanted him to make the roster so bad in training camp, and then he did. He made the practice squad, and we heard him get called up. We're like, all right, what's going to happen? And then all of a sudden, we're playing the Colts. And I turn around and I see Jonas Gray in the back. I'm like, okay, what is our plan this game? And all of a sudden, he's got 201 yards and 4 touchdowns. And I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah, I guess it's something with that Colts run defense is they're not good. They just allow 4 touchdown games to Pat's running backs, but it's all right. Pat Chung, that was an interesting pick for me. I like that pick because, like I said, like you said actually, Pat Chung is not one of my favorite players. I never really liked Pat Chung that much. I thought he was similar to Brandon Merriweather in the fact where he could be a hard hitter, but he was kind of dumb. And
the word is brain dead, right? But Merriweather now is completely should be in a mental hospital, brain dead.
I don't even really know what to say much about Pat Chung. He had a really good year in the run defense, which I didn't really expect that from him either because he never even really showed that here when he was here the first time. But you did hit the nail on the head when I was calling for Harmon in the beginning of the year because that was what you expected. You expected Harmon to be back there. Chung comes out of nowhere, gets signed to the team, and then absolutely puts on a rampage in the run defense. Pass defense still could be a little better, but we can't have it all here in New England. We can't win everything. So I guess having not the best starting safety in the pass is okay if we have the best starting safety in the run.
We have the best pass safety in the NFL in Devin McCourty, so I guess we're okay.
But my biggest surprise of the year is the man you actually just mentioned, Brandon LaFell. 74 catches, my bad, for 953 yards and 7 TDs. Watching him in the preseason and in that week of training camp that we went to was horrible, was horrendous. I was a big fan of LaFell coming into this year in the signing of LaFell. I actually tweeted, I'm pretty sure it was Super Bowl or bust now that we got LaFell, which makes no sense to anybody who doesn't like LaFell, but I love LaFell. I loved him. I loved him in Carolina for no reason. He dropped passes all over the place, and I loved him. He was a bigger receiver. He could pass block, run block, which is what I like to see here, especially if we're going to get to the outside. Haven't really been able to do that much without Ridley, but Blount's showing a little bit of that, which is good. But LaFell, for 74 receptions, 953 yards, and 7 touchdowns, again, I repeat those stats, that was not what I expected watching that in preseason, watching drop after drop after drop, and everybody in the stands going, ugh, after every single time Brady threw the ball to him, or Garoppolo for that matter. It was just embarrassing, and then LaFell comes out and has a great year, and I can't wait to see him. I think he has 2 more years left on his contract, but I can't wait to see him next week going against whoever we go against, quite honestly.
I don't know. I think LaFell is a good receiver. Don't get me wrong. When we saw him, I was like, what's going on? This is not what I thought. The Patriots we were always Patriot fans. That was our one thing going in the offseason. We need a receiver that's big. We can't throw 5'9" Edelman the entire time. We need somebody with height. I remember Macklin was an option at one point, and then we wanted.
What a year he had, huh?
Yeah, see what I mean? I was the big advocate for the Patriots signing Macklin. The guy goes out and has a career year off a torn ACL. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And I mean, if LaFell didn't have this good of a year, I would have been ramped. I would have been like, oh, we could have had Macklin. They got him for cheaper money. Why do we not break the bank on Macklin? Come on, this guy was a top one receiver for his team 2 years ago before the torn ACL. You guys don't even make an offer for him. And then the Sanders. I was pissed about that,
That's
too.
what I was just going to mention. Sanders, we know your love of him.
I'm going to be like, are you kidding me with Sanders? Sanders just had the best year of his career with Peyton Manning. Can you imagine when you have Tom Brady? Thank God LaFell had a good year. This would have been some hectic things for me, especially with Amendola still being on the team.
I don't really know the thoughts on Amendola, but we'll save that for another episode. Biggest disappointment, speaking of Amendola, go ahead.
Can I say Danny Amendola?
You can say Danny if that's who you really think it is.
No, I didn't have any expectations for Danny Amendola at all going in. Not zero. I honestly thought he might not even play.
Then give me your real disappointment then. Let me hear what you're really disappointed about.
I don't know. Nate Solder? Nate Solder. I'm going to go with that. This guy is a top 5 left tackle if he ever even tried. It just makes me so mad. I know, he turned up, he did all right the last couple of games, he was doing fine. But he's still getting burnt every single play. Brady has to be mobile. The reason why Brady changed his game is because he has a shitty left tackle. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. But this guy sucks. He really does. And I don't understand why the Patriots broke the bank on him. I know it's because you can't find a left tackle anywhere else. It's the hardest position to find. But this guy sucks. I'm sorry. He just can't play at all. He really can't. And it just makes me mad sometimes that I feel like he can really I don't know, in the run he's not bad. I mean, if you run to the left side, he's going to make a block, but pass is just, if you have any good defensive end or any good outside linebacker he goes against, Von Miller is going to absolutely, I feel like, is going to destroy him. And then even when we play the Ravens, they got Doomerville and Suggs. How's he going to, I know Doomerville plays the right, but he'll definitely rotate over knowing that he's going to play against Nate Solder.
Yeah.
And then, enough for Nate Solder. But the other player in my mind, I don't know, I think this might be the one you picked, Logan Ryan. This guy, last year, had 6 interceptions. I think he was tied for second in the NFL. I know he led the league in rookies. And this guy doesn't even show up. He literally didn't even show up. This was who the player we thought that was going to end up being the second corner before we signed Brown. Or I thought he was going to be able to start over Arrington or Dennard or anything. I thought he could play second corner right with Revis. But then we signed Browner, and I was like, okay, he'll start over Arrington. And then they had him out there, and he was awful. And they put Arrington back in there. Arrington did fine in the slot. Logan Ryan, I feel like the reason why I don't say he's the biggest disappointment is because it's his second year in the NFL. He has to get used to the game. They get used to the way he plays. It's how it goes. Next year will be the really decision year for him. Because he's going to be playing for a contract most likely. I don't think he's signing for a really big rookie deal. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Nate Solder is my second favorite offensive lineman in the league. And I'll tell you why. This man has the most potential for a left tackle in the league right now.
In the history of the NFL.
He could be so good, it's not even funny. And he isn't, which is the thing. There were plays throughout the year where he was turned back facing Brady in the middle of a play. How do you face your quarterback in the middle of a play? That doesn't even make even a little bit of sense. He's just soft.
Play.
Huh?
You remember the play where legit he got spin
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was the play I was talking about. He got spun around. I think that was the Chargers game. Yeah. Melvin Ingram made him look like a child, and it was fair because Solder for being a guy that's what 6'6", 6'7", maybe 6'8". I don't even know how big he is.
275, and he's
the guy is a teddy bear. Unnecessary to be that wimpy when you're playing that position. You need to be good. You need a good left tackle, and we just put money down on Marcus Cannon. $9 million to Marcus Cannon because we can't trust Nate Solder because we don't know what's going to happen with him. Solder's not good. Cannon's not good right now, so we need neither of them. I don't know why we put money into Cannon.
And Vollmer can't left because it's just not Vollmer's position. I'm not going to ask him to play left tackle, but I mean, like he is the best tackle.
That was my number one favorite lineman in the league, but we'll let it slide. My number one disappointment was the man you thought I was talking about. I'm so predictable with this. Logan Ryan was my future of the team, and he let me down pretty hard. And it's okay because Logan Ryan, was he undrafted? Undrafted, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah.
Sixth round undrafted, something like that.
Yeah, it was either a late draft pick or undrafted. Logan Ryan comes in here, lights the league up last year, even though a couple of them were lame ducks. I think he picked off Peyton once. And he got a couple easy interceptions.
An interception?
Comes in this year and just shows nothing. Gets burned on every type of play. Doesn't know where he is. Doesn't know where he's supposed to be. He just was awful. Like you said, I wanted him to be number 2 on the team, number 1 before Revis even got here. But look at this. He's number 5 on the depth chart. He's behind Malcolm Butler and Dennard, who's not even playing. So
I literally forgot about Logan Ryan once Malcolm Butler came because I was the biggest Malcolm Butler fan going into the year because I saw him in training camp and he legit shut down Edelman, and I was like, okay, I don't even care about Logan Ryan. I mean, he can play, I guess. I don't know.
And then Logan Ryan goes out there and doesn't play. So
I felt like the Patriots, though, if they didn't know they were going to get Revis, they would have signed Slade longer. I feel like that's what it was going to be. I feel like the Patriots were hoping they were going to get Revis for that money that they got him for in those years, knowing that if they had to break the bank onto leave, they probably would have. I don't know. I feel like the Patriots didn't even offer Talib a contract. I honestly don't think they did. I think Talib would have took a contract. Let's say this: that Denver contract, he does not deserve all that money. But who's not going to take that money?
Yeah, I do not fault him going there. I fault Denver for giving him that kind of money.
Yes.
But it's all right. The season's over. Regular season wrap-up thoughts. Anything quick you want to share about your thoughts with the regular season?
The first 4 games, I thought the Patriots would maybe go 8-8, and then after the game we played.
After the Kansas City game we lost.
Yeah. What was the game after that? Who did we play?
Was it Cincinnati?
Yeah, it was after that Cincinnati game, I was like, okay, we're to the Super Bowl. Honestly, it was like, okay, we're back now. There's no problem now, and it's just because everything clicked that game, and it was great to see. And then really gross when we beat Denver, and then we beat the Colts, and I was like, okay, we're the team to beat. There's no doubt in my mind now. So I feel like overall the offense played up to my expectations of what was going to happen. I felt like the LFL signing was going to be a big part of the offense. I thought a healthy Gronk was also going to be a good part of the offense. Julian Edelman did not do as well as he did last year, but he did exactly what we always wanted him to do, was to be the banky on third down and be the receiver that Brady's going to trust every single down. Tim Wright was okay. I mean, not bad for the fact that Logan Mangans is on the team that's going to get the number 1 overall pick. I think that makes me feel a little bit better. So I don't know. The Patriots They went 12-4. Should have went 13-3 if Brady plays the entire game. Um, it, it's it's just exactly what I expected out of the team. I don't know what you feel.
It's the Patriots way again. It's the Patriot way. You make everybody think you're doing one thing, and then you completely switch it up and do another thing. We've seen it every year with the Patriots. With it's not on a bigger scheme of like this one was, but like even a smaller spectrum where you think who's going to be the running back for a certain week, and then you're completely thrown off guard because it's Ridley one week, then it's Vereen the next week, then it's Blunt comes in, and then it's Bolden one week, and you don't even know what's going to happen. What they did with this season was ridiculous because they had no offensive line coach. Dave DeGuglielmo did a terrific job halfway through the season with some adjustments. Um, and that is what really solidified this team. Without the offensive line play that came in after that Kansas City game, and that's solidarity, I would say, on that offensive line. There's no chance we do as well as we did. But the fact that they did pull it together, and that the team did play as well as they did to come out 12-4 shows the resiliency of this team, and the fact that we are still the best team in the league. And is it even close? Probably not. Those are really my last things.
The Patriots is ourselves, and I will take that to the grave. It's 100% true. This year, we have to beat ourselves in order to lose.
Basically, my last thought in the regular season is we are on to the postseason. Here we go.
Yes.
Postseason. Now, the matchups this weekend, I believe off the top of my head, Carolina and Arizona are playing right now. Pittsburgh and
Baltimore are
playing tonight.
Cincinnati and Indianapolis are playing at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and Dallas and Detroit are playing in the afternoon. If Cincinnati wins, we play Cincinnati. If Baltimore beats Pittsburgh, I believe, yeah.
Baltimore. So wait, no. This whole thing, the way that it works, is we can't play Pittsburgh.
Yes, because they will be the higher.
So if Pittsburgh wins, it goes to whoever wins the Bengals and Colts game, and if Baltimore wins, we play Baltimore. It's basically how that works.
Yeah. So if Baltimore wins, no matter what, we have to play Baltimore because they are the Patriots automatically play the lowest seed of the wild card teams.
So with that being said, who do you most want to play out of those three teams? Who do you most want to play?
So out of the Colts, Bengals, or
Ravens.
Bengals. Because their running back Jeremy Hill is good, but I feel like the Patriots can contain him. Andy Dalton. We're just going to put that out of there. And then the defensive line's good. The secondary's questionable. I feel like we can definitely that game the week 5 we destroyed them mentally, physically, and everything else. I just feel like they're the best team that we match up against, and I'm not the most worried about them. The Colts, we just have to run the ball. Simple as that. We just have to run the ball against the Colts. It's not that hard. And then Ravens. The Ravens are the scariest team for the Patriots. The Patriots are literally terrified of the Ravens. They're like, oh my God, Ravens! We can't shoot them with our guns. I don't know. The Patriots just always struggle against the Ravens. We've lost to them twice. Once in the AFC Championship game, once in the divisional round. The Ray Rice and he got a touchdown. I still can't get out of my head to this day. And the Seton Ridley fumble. He literally was unconscious with his knee on the ground, and they did not call it fumble because he was unconscious. Because they figured that since you're unconscious, you do not have control of the ball. So they're the team that scares me the most. And the only reason why we beat them one time in the postseason, is because Billy Cundiff literally ruined his career. That's it. That's my thoughts. That's the reason Cincinnati is the team I most likely play because I feel like Andrew Luck can turn it up at any time, but I feel like the Patriots can contain him. But I feel like I'd rather take my chances against Andy Dalton playing quarterback with two running backs that they have with a healthy defense. If we have a healthy defense going into Cincinnati, I'm not too worried. I know Jeremy Hill wasn't really a factor in that game. And I feel like they'll be a bigger factor in the postseason game against them if we play them. That's what scares me a little bit. But I feel like most likely the Patriots are going to have the least amount of trouble against Cincinnati because their offense is not typically the best offense. Plus, A.J. Green's hurt. He's doubtful to play tomorrow.
He's actually completely downgraded out.
Downgraded out. So he's going to be injured going into the game against us, most likely. And he will be the only problem for Rivas because he's the only option for Andy Dalton. So it's highly unlikely that Cincy will beat him tomorrow. But I would rather play Cincinnati the most because I feel like knocking the Colts out of the playoffs is a big part of that. Even if the Ravens win, knocking the Colts out, because I feel like the Colts could definitely beat Denver, no problem. So
I'm pretty much in the same general thought wavelength as you. I do want to play the Bengals the most, mostly because I can't stand the Bengals. I can't stand A.J. Green. I can't stand Andy Dalton. I like Jeremy Hill. Not really much to hate there. He's pretty good. And Giovanni Bernard randomly falling off the map this year, but it's all right, Giovanni. We got you.
Career rookie year, and then he's just like, oh yeah, no, screw you, dude. We got Jeremy Hill.
Yeah, right. I don't know. But with that being said, I do think we match up pretty well against them. As long as there is no chance of A.J. Green getting free under Rivas, then I don't have any thought in my mind we lose that game. I have tickets to this game, by the way, so I'm very interested to see who we play. And out of the backfield, Jeremy Hill and Jamie Collins would be a good matchup to look at. Anything but Mohamed Sanu, because I can't stand Mohamed Sanu. So anybody covers Mohamed Sanu, they shut him down. It's a deal. I will pay their contract for that game. Team I would least like to see, again, with same thought as you, the Ravens. The Ravens are a Patriot-killing team for some reason. They don't have a great secondary. Jimmy Smith not playing the last few weeks. They've been awful. I don't like Jimmy Smith, but without him, they're awful. They have a pretty decent front seven. Yeah, they have a pretty decent front seven. So it should be interesting to see what they can do against our offensive line, especially if Connolly isn't able to come back. All of the offensive linemen practiced today, by the way, which was great to see. Not today, sorry, Tuesday. We're so far off. I don't even know what day it is anymore.
I don't even know if it happened yesterday.
Yeah, I am so far off, so messed up with these past holidays, the past couple of days, past couple of weeks. I really don't even know what's going on anymore.
I didn't know it was Saturday today.
Yep, I had the same thought process. I actually thought it was Monday, so whatever.
I thought yesterday was Monday because I had to go to work yesterday, thinking it was a new week because I just felt like a weekend.
All right, and then the last thing we need to talk about will be the Super Bowl prediction. What do you think is going to make the Super Bowl?
I mean, if the Patriots play exactly how they're supposed to play, in my mind, they're going to go to the Super Bowl because they're the best team in the AFC. They beat the best teams in the AFC. The only teams they have not played that are in the playoffs right now are Pittsburgh and Baltimore. So they beat Cincy, they beat Denver, and they beat the Colts. Those are the teams that the Patriots beat pretty fairly. The Denver game was a little bit of a struggle at first, but I feel like they really stood up and really dominated. The Colts game, we didn't talk about that game. We had running back that didn't exist a game before, 100 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Cincy game was our turning point game this season. And the Ravens and the Steelers, we don't play the Steelers unless they make it to the AFC Championship game. They beat Denver. So that's the team I'm scared of the most to play because I just feel like their offense is really good. And I feel like Rivas would be able to do his job on Antonio Brown, but I don't know how the Patriots are going to do if they have a healthy Le'Veon Bell. He got ruled out of the game today, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be healthy for the game against Denver or if they play us in the AFC Championship game. The only reason why I don't see us playing Pittsburgh is because of that. So the Patriots, I feel like, are going to go to the Super Bowl. The team I think they're going to face, I think Carolina might have just won. The game's pretty close to them.
Carolina, real quick update. Carolina is up 27-14 with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you guys could hear me that well.
Yeah, we heard you. So, yeah, Carolina is apparently going to the division round. That ended up 7-8-1 is going to go to the division round. So we can just ignore that fact. And let's talk about the fact they had a home game. That's crazy. Carolina, I mean, Arizona just went from the number one team in the NFL to out of the playoffs within 2 games.
Pretty much.
So, um, I want to say the Patriots in Seattle. I just don't. I just don't see Aaron Rodgers doing well against that secondary. I feel like if the matchups end well, it's going to be Green Bay and Seattle in the NFC Championship game, and it's just going to be a dogfight because it's going to be at Seattle. If it was at Lambeau Field, I'm taking Green Bay. No doubt in my mind, the Patriots could win at Lambeau, and I can't see Seattle going in there in negative degree weather with a frozen ground winning a game. Colin Kaepernick did it twice, which I will never understand how he did that, because the fact that the guy didn't throw a fourth quarter touchdown this year and didn't even make the playoffs.
And is a piece of
That's
garbage.
why I think Green Bay is just they're so unpredictable. On defense, they lost to the Bills this year, but they could beat us. Any team with a decent defense, Green Bay struggles against. We also got to remember that the reason why we lost that game is because we gave up a touchdown at the end of the half. That touchdown at the end of the half does not happen. We Patriots win that game. There's no doubt in my mind. That was a big momentum swing, and the fact that they scored 7 points and we only lost by 5. So that would technically make us up by 2 points. So the Patriots are going to beat whoever those teams are, and this is why. Seattle has not faced an offense besides Green Bay that is going to give them mental problems. Denver's offense is so predictable. Peyton Manning throws the ball, and he catches the ball, and hopefully the receiver opens. Now, Seattle did a very good job in the Super Bowl last year against Denver. That's including all the weapons that Denver had, with Eric Decker, with Demaryius Thomas, with Julius Thomas, with no Sean Moreno. But I don't see Seattle having an answer for Shane Vereen. I feel like Bobby Wagner is a very good linebacker, but I feel like he is not going to be mainly on Shane Vereen the entire game. They also don't have Brandon Brown anymore. Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas are still very good safeties, but they did not play up to expectations. They are playing a little bit better than they did last, but now that they are playing better than they were earlier in the year. Their pass rush is I feel like the Patriots' offensive line plays to the potential that the Patriots are going to have no problem defending that. And the only thing is, are we going to be able to contain Russell Wilson? That Russell Wilson is the key part of this game. You can't contain Russell Wilson. He's going to run all over you, or he's going to find open receivers. Patriots might struggle against Marshawn Lynch, because we struggle against Chris Ivory, but at the same time, we got to hope the Patriots are just the team to beat, and the Patriots are going to be able to go to Phoenix on a neutral turf field and do a good job, and hopefully does not repeat the situation what happened last time we played at Phoenix.
Yeah, we don't really want to talk about that. I don't even know why you'd bring that up. That's really messed up that you said that, man. In my opinion, I think we play either Green Bay or Seattle, pretty much the same thing that you just said. To me, Green Bay is the better matchup because I think that would be a more fun game to watch. You really got the rematch between the two teams, like you said. The Packers really, it was such a good game. It was such a good game, don't get me wrong. But the Packers shouldn't have taken the lead before the half because that was a ridiculous touchdown. And 99 times out of 100, it doesn't happen. But it happened, so we lost that game. But I think we still match up well with the Packers. I don't really see anybody on defense that can stop our offense again. And on our defense matches up with their offense. I still think that Revis on Cobb and Browner and McCourty on Nelson is such a big advantage for us that we should be able to knock them out. And I actually didn't even think of the Packers until you said that, because actually on my sheet right next to me I have Super Bowl prediction, Patriots, Seahawks, and I now changed my mind and I think the Packers are going all the way. But the Patriots win.
The reason why the Packers and Seattle are the teams that the Patriots will be able to beat is because they don't have a tight end like or any tight end that's very good. I feel like the only teams that give Patriots struggles are teams that have a decent receiving tight end. Bills give a struggle. They have a decent receiving tight end.
Are you talking bad crap about Cooper Helfert right now? Are you saying Cooper Helfert isn't a great passing tight end?
He's
the best one that they have. Best tight end in the league, and it's not even close. Better than Gronk. It's
Oh yeah,
Cooper
no,
Helford.
yeah,
Cooper Helford for MVP.
yeah, I agree, 100%. I'm sorry to talk crap about Cooper Holford. I actually don't even think Jimmy Graham's the best tight end on the Saints either. I think it's Josh Hill.
He might be. Josh Hill very much might be because Jimmy Graham is awful. But that's it for this episode of Mike and Travis's Sports Podcast.
That is your review of the Patriots regular season. It is long, and you're going to watch it no matter what because it's the Patriots.
And we are the best team in the league. If you haven't noticed, that says MVP behind Travis's head right there. MVP, Tom Brady.
It also says Super Bowl champions.
And Super Bowl champions,
Except
which we will be.
Super Bowl champion, 2014.
4 times under Brady and Belichick. It will happen. Anyway, quick little wrap-up of the show.
I'm sorry, okay, just have to bring that out. Okay, we're good.
Quick little wrap-up of the show. We will be trying to do these videos more often. We apologize that we haven't been able to. Haven't really had much time. Now that we're finally off of school, we have about a month left of vacation, so we should be able to get a few more videos in. The only big thing is we need to know what you guys want to see, what you guys want to hear, what you guys want to read. So we need to get some feedback from you guys. We haven't really gotten much feedback. It's really only been from family members, and you know how they can be sometimes. We love them to death, but sometimes they're not honest enough.
And when we do write, we do get decent page views. I'm glad to see that we actually do get some unique views. But other than that, we're hoping on. It's really football season right now, but we do need to talk about the Red Sox at one point, all the moves they made. It would be nice to talk about the Celtics, maybe with the Rondo trade and stuff like that. And the Bruins, they can get the recognition sometimes. They blew a lead today and lost in overtime today.
They can get some recognition when they're good, so we'll talk about that later.
Once the Bruins wins a couple games and Rask and the defense shows up maybe once in a while, and maybe we can score a couple goals, maybe I'll think about that.
Yep, so that's pretty much it for the Mike and Travis's Sports Podcast. We'll be back hopefully sometime next week, because that would be terrific, because I do enjoy doing this. So does Travis. We enjoy putting out the sports commentary for you guys. And if you guys want to find any of our stuff, we have our website, which is beantownsportsblog.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at beantownsports5, at masala_bro, at jtalden11. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/beantownsports5. And even though we haven't done this video in forever, I can still remember off the top of my head. Not too bad, huh?
Yeah,
all right, guys. We will see you guys all later this week.
Hopefully,
have a good one.
Stuff. If not, Patriots review. Take it easy.
Later, guys.